There's a story floating around that's piqued a lot of interest, and a lot of people have wondered if I've seen it. It's about North Korean soldiers that allegedly have become addicted to adult content online, since for the first time in their lives, they have less restrictions on internet usage while they're fighting for Russia against Ukraine. So, North Korean soldiers that are fighting with Russia, they've apparently gone full gooner after having their Sharingan awakened with this unfettered internet access, at least according to Gideon Rackman, a Financial Times foreign affairs commentator. A usually reliable source tells me that the North Korean soldiers who have deployed to Russia have never had unfettered access to the internet before. As a result, they are gorging on pornography. A classic source, trust me bro moment. However, this guy does have some prestige with that title, I think. I don't know. I'm not an expert on the Financial Times or anything. It's not like he really dove into the lore or explained where he got this information from. He just kind of made it like a mic drop moment and then walked away. So this could just be a guy pulling shit out of his ass. It's very possible. The U.S. Defense Department spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Charlie Dietz, was even asked about it and said that he couldn't confirm any North Korean internet habits or virtual extracurriculars. He went on to say that they're instead more focused on serious aspects of North Korea's involvement, if any, in Russia's military operations, and that the question about whether or not the North Korean soldiers are going auga at their phone screens when looking at honkers should be asked to Moscow instead. Of course, it's impossible for me to know whether or not the claim is true that North Korean soldiers are now gorging on pornography. I'm not there. I'm not looking over their shoulder, breathing down their neck, going, hey, what you watching there? So I have no way of knowing. It doesn't seem like there's any strong evidence to support the claim, but whether or not it's true, it's an interesting thought that I want to talk about briefly. We had a similar topic that I talked about like 5 months ago when there was a story about this remote tribe that had recently got internet access, and there was a viral story about how they've now become addicted to porn and it's destroying their entire community and all of that. So this isn't the first of its kind here, though in that case that was very overblown and dramatic for the sake of clicks, and in this case it's too early to tell, but there's no evidence to suggest that North Korean soldiers are right now in the middle of big-time gooning. On Reddit, however, the front page, they have this photo right here that claims it's a picture of a North Korean soldier that was watching girls dancing all day, but it looks like a really staged photo. I mean, the guy looks super happy. He looks like he's on cloud nine right there. That is a man who is at peace with whatever is on his phone. But it really feels like this picture is not authentic. And then from the same Reddit account, they also posted this, which is a short video of a North Korean soldier apparently watching girls dancing on social media. To me, they just feel more fake than a fleshlight, just very phony baloney staged photos. I don't know why, maybe to capitalize off how viral this story has become. It just, to me, doesn't seem real, but it is very possible it is. But I haven't seen any actual journalists report on that photo or that video. So I don't know if the authenticity has been verified or anything. But putting it through the Charles sniff test smells like bullshit to me. Who really knows? But the idea is interesting because when you grow up with access to the internet, there's a lot of things that become normal to you that are incomprehensible to those that don't have that. There's the obvious, like, information, access to others, videos, like an infinite number of things change drastically with internet access. But since the focal point of this story was porn, I guess I'll talk on that aspect too. In North Korea, porn is Voldemort. You don't say its name, but it does exist. Like, there is a consumption of pornography in North Korea, even though it is forbidden. It's usually through the black markets, purchasing magazines or films and such, but it's not something that's like officially condoned, and it does carry a severe punishment, at least as I understand it. So it's not something most people have access to in an easy way. So as a North Korean soldier, if you go fight somewhere overseas and you have access to it on your phone, that is a game changer experience, because prior to that, most likely the only way you'd ever really see a naked person is if you saw them in person, right? Like, think back. I made this point when talking about this in the last video when it came to the remote tribe. The average person in the world right now has seen more yams and butt cheeks than your entire family tree combined. thanks to the internet. In the modern day and age, you can't even open up Twitter without being inundated with titties, pussy, and spread asshole. And it's become so normalized. Not just on Twitter, on just the internet as a whole. If you go to the comment section right now, I guarantee there is probably 1,000 bot comments with a naked woman or just giant milkers that is a copy and paste of some other comment right there promoting OnlyFans or some other porn site. It's just become extremely common. So if you're someone that's never had access to the internet and then you just suddenly get it, it's overwhelming with the amount of new things that get introduced into your life. And it's big for the brain here. Like, it's so overstimulating, like all the information, and that does include all of the porn that then just gets fucking placed right there on your doorstep. Like, it's something that even if you don't go looking for it, like even if the North Korean soldiers aren't typing in naked booby to blow a load, they will undoubtedly just encounter it because of how prevalent it is just in the internet in general. Like, even if they don't go out of their way for it, it will find them. Again, this assumes the story's true in the first place, that North Korean soldiers are drooling and hooked on porn right now. Even though there's no evidence to support that claim at the moment, the claim itself is believable because of how widely documented porn addiction is. It's a serious, serious problem. And in this case, I'm assuming the soldiers have probably never even seen porn before, considering how difficult it is to get in North Korea. So they're probably even more blown away by it and more susceptible to it, would be my guess. Of course, I'm not a psychologist or anything. I'm not a fucking porn scientist. It's just what I'm imagining would be the case. It's just a fascinating thought, really, because I grew up with the internet. I imagine most people watching this have as well. And even if you didn't grow up with it, you got to evolve with it over time. It was never something that all of a sudden the modern internet just fell into your lap one day. You watched it grow and build into what it became today. In this case, they're getting the internet dropped on them all at once, coming from nothing to everything. It's like fucking Gojo's domain expansion, really, but with internet degeneracy. So I just find it super interesting. Also, this is a bit unrelated and probably a bit stupid, but I do wonder if this is a true claim about North Korean soldiers gorging on adult content. Would the US military try and use that to their advantage somehow, you think? Like, start blasting their devices with advertisements for, like, giant melons, like, click here. And they spend, like, hours doing that, just rotting away watching porn as opposed to fighting. I wonder if that'd be, like, an effective tactic in general. Like, they start just spamming their phones with, like, those advertisements from back in the day, like, this sexy single's in your area. This woman's trying to fuck you right now. Actually, this very second. Hey, asshole, this woman's trying to put on a show for you, specifically you. It's a private show. And it's like Keister just jiggling around. Click here and watch. Have some fucking respect. Just like this giant effort to keep them glued to their phone watching porn as opposed to like going out to the front lines and fighting. I don't think it'd actually work. Obviously, I'm just kidding around, but it is an interesting idea. Could there be any merit to that strategy? Most likely not. That's really about it. So, yeah.